So, Southern Paladin, you made that video. You weren't asking for like a response video, but I was like, I should make one anyhow. And you're talking like knives and sharpeners and stuff like that. And I stand by that comment that you made. I think, and I'm just trying to use some empathy here, put myself in your shoes, but I think you should get the brass version of that knife just because that's really going to give you the member berries. And it seems like you and I have some pretty similar, I don't know, knife thoughts in a lot of ways. Because I do like the design of the buck knife. Like buck, a lot of companies will do all kinds of crazy blade shapes and that. Buck pretty well stays with you know the clip point ain't broke, we ain't fixing it, and and they don't make like, because some you see like some clip points they'll make them like really crazy and stuff like that. And like I said, I think Buck is very level headed on how they do that. I probably, like you, when I was a kid, there was a handful of knives that were like the cool guy knives. And that buck kind of hunter, the 110 style pattern, and the large stockman was like, that was the cool guy knives. And Buck actually makes a really good stockman. I shouldn't say this because the last thing you want to do is just start spending a bunch of money, but they make one, it's a stockman pattern, it's a USA made one. I have one in my knife box. It's like a 301 or something like that. It's a good size, like I wouldn't say it's a large stockman, but it is bigger than what a normal stockman is. And it's a knife that's good for like when you're talking non-permissible environments. I don't carry that one. I actually got a Kershaw Culpepper. I actually liked it enough that I bought two of them. They don't make them anymore, so like that Buck might be a better option. And the other one that was like the cool guy knives, it was even cooler than the Buck, was Schrade and its many names, Old Timer, Uncle Henry, Schrade, Copenhagen, all that. They made both that kind of 110 pattern hunter and the large stockman. And that was like the real cool guy knives because they were more expensive than the Buck, but they had a fantastic warranty. You mentioned some other stuff, and you mentioned like those razor knives, and going back to the Buck thing, I carried a 112 for a while, just because, like you, I like the idea of something that doesn't scare the villagers. We'll put it that way. And I went kind of back to a 110. I really like the 110, and the only reason I don't carry the 110 is because if you're carrying a pistol, it's kind of where you'd carry your knife, right? So then I said, well, I'm going to go to something with pocket clip. You'd mentioned the some of the razor knives that you were carrying. Milwaukee makes one. It's like their fastback or whatever. It takes a regular razor blade, and it also has a little screwdriver on it too. It's kind of neat. I have one of those. I carried that for a while. I also have one of those outdoor edge ones. Mine's like the 3.5 inch EDC, but you might be interested in the 3 inch. And the only reason I say that is that the 3 inch one has like a like a regular kind of blade, and then also you can get like a box cutter one almost like for it. So that's kind of neat. I I went with that outdoor edge. I had one of those was Havilon, and that Havilon was such a bitch to change the blades on that was I was like, I'm going to slice myself open real bad one of these days switching blades on that thing. So I just there was a guy who him and I used to go on a lot of hunting trips together, and I was just like, and in fairness, the guy did a lot of the legwork in terms of putting stuff together, the organization part of it. So I was just like, hey, I know you like these, have one. I now I carry a Cold Steel Recon 1 with a clip point, and it is a pocket sword, but it actually carries fairly well. And where I live, nobody's really that concerned about it. I don't know, like I've worked with some guys who they carry a fixed blade, so to carry a Recon 1 isn't that big of a deal, but where you are it might be, and so I don't know, Cold Steel makes an American Lawman. I think that might be a little bit better for not scaring the villagers. The And yeah, so like I say, I've looked at those Buck Slimlines, but I don't know. I've always been scared to pull the trigger on it. So when you get that, you carry it for a while. I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are. That's just me anyway. You mentioned sharpening, and I told you in that comment, I originally I still have the Lansky. All I have left is the medium stone, because the stones will go to shit on them. But I mean, they do that on anything. But I did a lot of sharpening with it, and the one I have, and I got a Smith one now, too. And usually what I do is I just use the coarsest stone in the set. And it's just like a little clamp that holds the knife. You hold the clamp and you pick the angle you want. You can. I find it works really good. Like if you're sharpening something that's S30V or something like that, that's just harder than a stepmother's heart. You stay really consistent. You don't have to worry about over time changing your angle. At least that's the way I feel. I know that there's people out here who are going to be like, just learn how to use a stone, and that's fine. I mean, go for it. But why not make things easier? And it works really well. And also too, when you have a knife, don't be afraid to reprofile it. I know a lot of people, they're kind of scared to do that, but myself personally, I'll lay that fucking edge back. I don't care. I want that edge to be like a razor, so I'll lay it back so that it's and yeah, okay, it's not going to be as tough of an edge, but I like, generally speaking, and there's exceptions and outliers to this, most of the time I come home every night, so I can touch it up if I have to, or if I put a chip in it or whatever, and even at that, I mean, if you roll or chip an edge, is that really the end of the world? You still got all that other edge to use. I don't know. It's just me. But once again, you do what you think is best. Like I said, just don't be afraid to reprofile that edge. That's all I'm saying. This probably went on longer than what it needed to, but You've made some good response videos to me, and I wanted to make a good one for you for something that you were looking at. So I hope this helps. If you got any questions with those sharpeners, I can take some pictures and send them to you. Anyhow, everyone, take care.